Good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the real estate walk and talk with me here. Hey, I was up at 5 a.m. thinking about tax savings this morning, as I'm sure everybody in my network here was thinking about tax savings at 5 a.m. But I got up because April 15th is a date that's ingrained in my mind, and I knew that I needed to make the contributions to my retirement accounts, my IRAs, specifically is what I'm thinking about, for myself, my wife, and my kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. And April 15th has always been the deadline when you need to make your contributions to those accounts. And what that allows you to do is to basically get deferment of taxes on the gains for those investments, which is huge for your wealth creation long term. So every year I make those contributions. This year in 2020, the max contribution for an IRA account is $6,000. And I thought that it was due April 15th. Hey, I got 5 people walking with me this morning. Hey, thank you all for joining me. So were you all up at 5 a.m. thinking about tax savings? I hope so. I hope you're weird like me. So, but you gotta make those contributions, and the max is $6,000 for an IRA. And there's little things that can change that amount depending on how old you are and whatnot. I'm kind of simplifying. So I was putting all that in order, and I wanted to make sure everybody else is getting ready to do that, because this is something that you can do. It's a way to raise capital, and it is a way to invest that capital in things like rental properties and private lending. You don't only have to put it in the stock market, and whatever your preference is, stock market, rental properties, it doesn't matter. I just want you to do it because it's going to build up your wealth long term. So I was doing all that this morning. And then I realized that the IRS extended the deadline to July 15th, which is cool. We got a little extra time. I just did it. But what I think for all of you, if you haven't done this, is if this isn't something that you normally do, this is a great time to get educated. You now have June, July, 3 more months to get educated on it and to plan for it and to be able to make those contributions. And basically what you can do is contribute that to your retirement account. You can also do something called an HSA, which is a health savings account. If you're not familiar with that, we could do a separate talk on that, or just send me a message. I'm happy to walk you through that. But that can also be invested in rental properties, private lending, or stocks, bonds, anything of that nature. And you really get some great tax deferment status there. But it also functions where the gains that you make when investing, I won't get too far into the HSA thing. It's a great vehicle. You should definitely look into it. And I wanted to share the story of what I do with my kids. So I mentioned I have a 7 and a 5-year-old, and they have an IRA. They had earned income, and then put that into an IRA years ago. And then that IRA is actually invested, and they lend out private money to another investor here that I know locally. And so I wanted to share that with you. There's not an age limit on when you can have an IRA. You just have to have some earned income. And my 7-year-old and my 5-year-old earned income in the past. I put that into an IRA for them. And then that is currently lending and earning interest for them. So I think they have about $5,000 in their account, and they earn 10% interest. So every year, my kids at age 7 and age 5 are earning $500 through private lending with their IRAs. And so if a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old can do it, you can do it too. There's some planning, there's some education that needs to happen in the beginning. But, my kids, while they're learning how to ride their bike and they're playing in the backyard, they're making money, they're earning, they're investing. And, I try to have these conversations with them. As you can imagine, it doesn't go very far, but I know one day they're going to look back and they're going to think that it's pretty cool that they were earning $500 a year in interest through these vehicles. And it's tax deferred as well, which means that they're not paying taxes on the gains. So an incredible vehicle. Again, the new date to contribute is July 15th. So if you haven't done it yet, make some plans to be able to do that by July 15th. If you can handle that. And the contribution limit is $6,000 per IRA that you can contribute. So We got Aaron Compton watching. We've got a few folks walking with me this morning. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful Easter weekend. Take care.